What if we told you there's a country where a 700-year-old poem decides your fate, where it's the year 1404, not 2025, and where you can marry someone for just 1 hour? This is Iran, a place where ancient mysteries and modern life collide in the strangest ways. Today, we're uncovering 15 secrets that will make you question everything you thought was possible on this planet. Number 15. The hottest place on Earth. Before we uncover the more disturbing truths, we must first ask, what is Iran really? Known officially as the Islamic Republic of Iran, it is more than just a country. It is a realm shaped by faith, fire, and forgotten empires. Spanning a landmass nearly 3 times the size of France and home to over 85 million souls, Iran operates under a unique and enigmatic system. One foot in democracy, the other planted firmly in divine authority. Cradled between East and West, Iran occupies a sacred crossroads where Europe, Asia, and the Middle East converge. Its borders trace the outlines of ancient wars and buried secrets, surrounded by the Caspian Sea to the north, the Persian Gulf to the south, and flanked by nations like Iraq, Afghanistan, and Turkey. For over 2 millennia, this land has whispered to kings and prophets alike, but hidden within this ancient world is a place that defies nature itself. Deep in the heart of Iran lies the Dasht-e-Lut, a scorched void the Earth itself seems to have abandoned. Scientists call it the hottest place on the planet. Temperatures here have reached a blistering 70.7 degrees Celsius, or 159 degrees Fahrenheit, so extreme they sterilize the soil, erasing every trace of life. This desert isn't just hot, it's otherworldly. Encircled by mountains that act like a celestial furnace, the heat is trapped, amplified, and unleashed upon the land. The ground shimmers with optical illusions, like a fever dream where reality twists. Touch the earth for a second, and your skin will scream. Leave metal in the sun, and it becomes a weapon. Here, even the air carries silence like a warning. Number 14. Where you can get married for just 1 hour. Imagine a country where marriage contracts can last an hour, a day, or 99 years, and it's all perfectly legal. Welcome to Iran, where temporary marriage, or sikha, blurs the line between sacred commitment and quick transaction. Here's how it works. A man and a woman agree on how long they'll be married and how much she'll be paid. They recite a short Arabic phrase. No witnesses needed, no official paperwork unless she becomes pregnant. In holy cities like Mashhad, you can even arrange one along with your hotel booking. It's a practice that began centuries ago for traveling merchants needing companionship in distant towns. Today, it's transformed into something far more controversial. Because in Iran, intimacy outside marriage can mean 100 lashes or even death by stoning. Sigeh becomes a loophole, legalizing what would otherwise be a crime. For women in poverty, it can be a lifeline. For men, it offers sanctioned access to multiple partners, while their wives have no such option. Modern Iran has put this ancient practice on steroids. There are websites listing women by age, weight, and appearance, apps that send you profiles, and downloadable marriage contracts you can fill out yourself. It's like swiping right on Tinder, only with clerical approval. What makes it truly mind-bending is that in the same country where holding hands before marriage could land you in prison, you can legally be married for less time than it takes to watch a movie. It's at once holy and transactional, a perfect window into Iran's complex, often paradoxical culture. Number 13. Where a 700-year-old poem decides your future. In Iran, people don't just read poetry, they live by it. Facing life's biggest choices, marriage, a new job, moving cities, Iranians often turn to a 14th century poet named Hafez. The ritual, called Fali Hafez, is stunningly simple. Hold your question in mind, open his book at random, and let the poem you land on guide your fate. It might sound like superstition, but even doctors and engineers swear by it. Families gather at Persian New Year to consult Hafez together, treating his verses like sacred road maps. Today, there are apps and Instagram accounts that do it instantly. 700-year-old wisdom delivered to your phone. What's most mind-blowing? In a nation producing some of the world's top engineers and software designers, many still trust a medieval poet more than any modern algorithm to steer their lives. It's a breathtaking clash of ancient spirit and cutting-edge progress, perfectly Iranian and utterly mesmerizing. Number 12. The island where money expires. Just off Iran's coast lies Kish Island, where laws vanish, dollars flow, and your money literally expires. Here, tourists skip visas, shop luxury malls, and unknowingly use Iran's experimental digital currency that vanishes if not spent fast enough. It's like an economic science fiction lab. While mainland Iranians juggle 8 exchange rates and sanctions choke the economy, Kish operates as a free trade bubble. Want a genuine iPhone or designer bag banned elsewhere in Iran? Buy it here. Most surreal of all, Iran is testing a digital real on Kish, a cryptocurrency with an expiration date. Don't spend it quickly, it simply disappears. Imagine money that self-destructs to keep the economy moving. Kish is Iran's pressure valve, where forbidden imports, foreign cash, and even banned financial dealings are suddenly fine. It's an island that breaks its own country's rules, proving that sometimes the easiest way to fix an economy is to carve out a place where the rules don't apply at all. Number 11. The world's most mysterious caviar capital. Forget gold or diamonds. On Iran's Caspian coast, tiny fish eggs are worth more than both. This region produces 90% of the world's wild caviar, where a single spoonful can cost more than your monthly salary, and rare albino sturgeon eggs sell for $50,000 a kilo, literally more valuable than cocaine. These sturgeon have survived since the age of empires, and local fishermen guard caviar secrets like nuclear codes, training only family. Despite global sanctions, Iran's caviar still finds its way onto royal tables through shadowy networks more intricate than any spy thriller. It's a hidden world where ancient fish, smuggling routes, and billionaire indulgence collide, turning this quiet stretch of Iran into the planet's most extravagant and mysterious food empire. Number 10. A 1,500-year-old underground escape city. And speaking of hidden networks that defy modern understanding, beneath the desert village of Nushabad lies something that connects to Iran's pattern of vanishing civilizations and impossible engineering. Here sits one of the world's most ingenious survival systems, a 3-story underground city stretching nearly 10 kilometers, specifically designed to make entire populations disappear when invaders arrived. The city was built over 1,500 years ago by people who chose flight over fight. The subterranean labyrinth connected to family homes through hidden trapdoors and kitchen floors. When lookouts spotted approaching armies, villagers could literally vanish through their kitchens and emerge miles away through secret exits hidden in distant hills. What's most remarkable is how normal life continued underground. Children were born in subterranean chambers, weddings were celebrated in carved halls, and religious ceremonies continued in underground temples. It's as if the people of Nushabad learned that sometimes the only way to preserve your culture is to disappear completely. Number 9. High-tech surveillance versus ancient rebellion. While ancient Iranians perfected the art of disappearing, modern Iran has taken the opposite approach, creating one of the world's most sophisticated surveillance systems. Yet these cutting-edge technologies aren't pointed toward foreign enemies. They're designed to monitor Iranian women's clothing choices, creating a dystopian reality where artificial intelligence is used to enforce scarf regulations. The government has deployed facial recognition drones, citywide CCTV networks, and a smartphone app called Nazer that can identify unveiled women even inside moving vehicles or ambulances. Imagine living in a world where your choice of scarf placement could result in automated fines sent to your phone before you even get home. Tens of thousands of women drivers have had their cars confiscated for improper hijab. The seized vehicles can only be retrieved after paying substantial fines and attending mandatory re-education classes about proper Islamic dressing. Number 8. A country built on vanished civilizations. Imagine living in a place where building a parking lot could uncover an entire lost world. That's daily life in Iran, a country layered with over 7,000 years of history, so deep that modern cities literally stand atop forgotten empires. Construction crews in Tehran regularly halt work because their shovels strike the ruins of civilizations we can barely name. The Elamites, who ruled for 2 millennia, then vanished so completely we can't fully translate their language. the Manians and Kassites, who left behind artifacts but no explanation of where they went, or the Burnt City, abandoned with its world's first animation etched on pottery, leaving historians guessing. The most mind-bending was in 2001 when floods exposed Giroft, a 5,000-year-old city with artifacts so sophisticated experts first thought they were elaborate forgeries. Its people crafted stone vessels with near mathematical precision, then disappeared without a trace. Today, Iran's government even has a special office to decide whether new archaeological finds should be preserved or bulldozed. Some luxury hotels were abandoned halfway because their foundations sat on ancient workshops too important to destroy. Number 7. The most unusual landscapes on Earth. Step into Iran and you'll swear you've left the planet. This is a country where nature seems to ignore Earth's rules entirely, crafting places so bizarre they look like dreams or feverish hallucinations. Start with Namakdan Cave on Keshem Island, the longest salt cave on the planet. Stretching over 6.5 kilometers, it's a shimmering underworld carved entirely from ancient seas. Inside, walls glitter like diamonds under a flashlight, salty air stings your tongue, and it feels as though you've stumbled into a crystal cathedral built by the earth itself. Then there's Lake Urmia in the northwest, once the largest lake in the Middle East. Today, it recedes into surreal salt flats, streaked with brilliant reds from algae blooms, so intense they're visible from space. Seen from the air, the lake looks like a giant bleeding wound in the landscape, ringed by white salt crystals that resemble frost on a scar. But perhaps strangest of all is Hormuz Island, where the very ground becomes a painter's palette. Its Galak soil is so loaded with iron oxides that locals harvest it to season their fish stews. After rain, the island's beaches explode in vibrant reds, oranges, and yellows that spill into the Persian Gulf, creating swirling patterns like Earth decided to try abstract art. These places aren't just oddities, they feel almost supernatural, as if Iran sits atop secret forces that warp geology into spectacles no ordinary planet should have. Number 6. The healing springs that appear and disappear. Scattered across Iran's mountains are springs so rich in minerals, locals believe the water itself chooses who it will heal, and sometimes even where it will flow. Nowhere is this more evident than in Sarain, a small town nestled among volcanic peaks, where dozens of hot springs bubble up from the earth, each with its own chemical fingerprint and supposed cure. Here, the water emerges at a near-perfect 38 to 45 degrees Celsius, steaming like a natural spa through all seasons. Villagers have long practiced specific rituals: morning baths for aching joints, evening soaks for troubled skin, careful schedules of drinking mineral water to calm the gut. Stories of chronic illnesses vanishing are so common that even nearby clinics keep informal notes linking miraculous recoveries to these unpredictable springs. But what makes these waters truly uncanny is how they sometimes vanish, then return years later in entirely new places, as if the earth is shifting its secret pharmacies. Elders claim the springs have a will of their own, relocating to follow need, punishing arrogance, or rewarding patience. Some locals even report dreams or visions that guide them to a particular spring, telling them exactly how long to bathe or what foods to avoid, blending folklore and hydrotherapy into a practice that feels almost supernatural. Number 5. The world's weirdest banned items and restrictions. Iran's list of banned items reads like a surreal shopping list written by someone who considers everything potentially dangerous, creating a black market for products that most countries sell in grocery stores. Barbie dolls are officially labeled cultural Trojan horses, designed to corrupt Iranian children with Western beauty standards. Toy shop raids since 2012 have confiscated thousands of blonde dolls like they were smuggling contraband, along with action figures of characters like Bart Simpson, whom authorities claim promote disrespect for parents. Even haircuts become political statements that could result in criminal penalties. Satanic hairstyles, including faux hawks, spiky gels, and anything considered too Western, can result in barbers losing their licenses and customers facing fines. Government inspectors visit salons with photo guides showing approved versus forbidden cuts. Valentine's Day merchandise triggers some of the most aggressive enforcement actions. Red roses, heart-shaped chocolates, and romantic greeting cards can result in shop closures lasting up to 6 months. Authorities argue that Valentine's Day promotes promiscuity and undermines traditional Iranian family values. Dog walking has also been banned in dozens of cities, with pets impounded as public order threats. The logic appears to be that dog ownership represents Western influence and that walking dogs in public promotes cultural values incompatible with Islamic traditions. Number 4. The global capital of nose jobs. Welcome to Tehran, where surgical bandages are a fashion statement and a perfectly sculpted nose can mean social survival. This is the undisputed nose job capital of the world, performing nearly 200,000 rhinoplasties every year, up to 7 times the rate of the United States. Walk down the streets of Iran's bustling capital, and you'll see it everywhere. Young women and men wearing their post-surgery bandages like luxury accessories, proudly advertising their newly refined profiles. In cafes and shopping malls, these bandages signal more than just recent surgery. They're proof of family investment, personal ambition, and readiness for marriage or high-status careers. Iranian beauty ideals lean heavily toward delicate European-style noses, so much so that entire families save for years to buy rhinoplasty for their daughters, treating it like a passport to better proposals or professional opportunities. Even teens join the swelling ranks of patients, sometimes lining up consultations right after high school exams. Tehran's cosmetic surgeons have become regional celebrities, drawing clients from across the Middle East and Central Asia. Clinics compete by showcasing before and after galleries that resemble high-stakes art portfolios, where each millimeter of cartilage shapes futures. In a country where so many freedoms are restricted, it's almost ironic that altering your own face has become an unspoken form of self-assertion, where every small, perfectly straight nose on the street whispers stories of social pressure, family hopes, and a uniquely Iranian chase for beauty that cuts deeper than skin. Number 3. The secret underground networks hidden in plain sight. Every morning at exactly 7:45 a.m., something extraordinary unfolds on Tehran's metro, yet most visitors never notice. As the trains roll in, the first and last cars transform into Iran's quietest rebellion, women-only compartments that double as underground hubs of forbidden freedom. Here, behind doors meant for protection, hijabs slip off, voices drop to conspiratorial whispers, and an entire shadow society comes alive. Women swap job leads, share secret apartment listings, organize clandestine parties, and warn each other about abusive husbands or suspicious government informants. It's a rolling network that functions like LinkedIn meets Resistance Cell, hidden in the most ordinary commute. Inside these carriages, you'll see photos passed hand to hand from weddings the morality police would shut down, or hear open laughter about things never spoken in mixed company. No male guards are allowed inside, which means here, just a few feet from state surveillance cameras, women trade banned fashion tips, show off uncovered hair, and plan escapes from controlling families. This informal network has grown so powerful that some women board these cars with no intention of getting off anytime soon. They ride the rails simply to connect, network, and breathe freely for a few stolen minutes. The model is spreading. Women-only taxis now cruise Tehran like mobile safe houses, and entire bus routes function as moving strategy sessions. It's a living paradox, segregation turned sanctuary, where what began as a government control measure has evolved into the most dynamic underground movement in Iran, hidden in plain sight, traveling along steel tracks beneath the city every single day. Number 2. Time itself runs differently. Step into an office in Tehran and ask what year it is. The answer will stop you cold. 1404. Because while the rest of the world is living in 2025, Iran is running on the solar Hijri calendar, an ancient system tied precisely to the spring equinox. This isn't just a quaint cultural quirk, it's a daily source of chaos. Contracts, bank forms, and even birth certificates operate on a different timeline. Universities must translate entire academic records into Western dates, and international companies keep entire departments solely to navigate Iran's parallel calendar. where getting a date wrong could unravel million-dollar deals. It becomes even more absurd at the border. Iranian passports list birthdays in both calendars, confusing immigration officials worldwide. A hotel reservation becomes a mini math puzzle. Imagine telling your New York colleague, "Let's meet on the 15th of Bahman, 1404, and watching them scramble for a conversion app. But there's also a poetic side. Unlike the wobbly Gregorian calendar, Iran's New Year, Nowruz, always lands exactly on the spring equinox, guaranteeing that every new year truly begins with nature's rebirth. For 2 weeks, cities erupt in celebration. Carpets are beaten clean of winter dust, and tables are set with symbolic objects meant to guarantee prosperity. So in Iran, time doesn't just tick differently. It blooms, resets, and reminds everyone that calendars aren't only about counting days. Sometimes they're about declaring who you are, even if the rest of the world is marching to a different clock. Number 1. The country where money has no fixed value. Walk into a bazaar in Iran, and you'll quickly discover that money here is less a solid promise than a slippery illusion. Price tags might be printed in reals, but everyone actually talks in tomans, forcing shoppers to mentally divide by 10 with every purchase. That's just the first puzzle. Because in Iran, a single US dollar doesn't have one exchange rate, it can have 8. Cancer medications might be priced at a subsidized government rate, luxury cars slapped with a punishing tariff, and smartphones traded on a black market dollar that's vastly different from the official one. Families become amateur economists, tracking daily currency shifts and cultivating personal ties to trusted money changers who can quietly offer better deals than banks. We hope you enjoyed today's documentary. Here is another video you will love. And as always, thanks for watching.